Hey guys, Rollout here, back with another Battle B-Daman review. This time we'll be revisiting the original Hasbro Chrome Zephyr, which is probably something long overdue. For starters, we might as well take another look at the classic 05 packaging. Up front, you can see what the figure would look like with the sticker sheet fully applied, but personally, I prefer to handle my B-Daman sticker-free, so this Chrome Zephyr will remain jet black with just a splash of yellow. A game option is suggested on the side, along with a statistic chart giving this guy 1 in rapid fire and balance, 2 in power and accuracy, and a 4 in control. Now, it's probably worth mentioning that back then, the typing conventions were a little different. In modern B-Daman systems, control types tend to focus on accuracy and balance, whereas in Battle B-Daman, this typing was more about handling and maneuverability, features which are now usually attributes of rapid fire. It's all a little confusing, but don't be too surprised to hear that Chrome Zephyr's main accessory is intended for speedy shots and quick reloading, instead of hitting the pin right on target. This particular release of the blaster also comes with a single glass B-Dama, or beat-a-ball, whichever suits you best, although it's possible that later releases of the same figure may have included a plastic marble instead. Aesthetically, I really enjoy the sleek curves of this B-Daman's armor. He has very little on the feet and nothing on the lower arms, but I especially love the shape of his shoulder pads and find them very comfortable to grip. Unfortunately, the attachment point is rather loose, and the pieces can be a little wiggly. The helmet is nice and aerodynamic, featuring 2 rubber fins at the top, which I suppose can be used to line up your shots, but are mainly just there for looks. Without the one-handed booster and elongated trigger pad, Chrome Zephyr essentially performs no differently from the basic Zero System core body, averaging a power reading of around 1.8 meters per second on the BSBV. The booster accessory slides into the hold parts, adding some tension and a notable increase in power, bringing the average up to about 3.2 meters per second. Of course, the real advantage of this attachment is allowing you to operate the B-Daman using a single hand, with your thumb resting on the trigger accessory. Now, I have to admit, I have never been a fan of the one-handed grip style. The idea is that you can move the blaster around more quickly and use your free hand to retrieve and reload marbles. Ironically, though, I believe something like this takes control away from the user, by making your movements very erratic and your shots inconsistent. Adding to that, personally, I have large hands with long fingers, which get in the way and make reloading the B-Daman extremely awkward and impractical. That said, even if your hands are small and you've all but perfected the technique, I still think that Chrome Zephyr's implementation of the feature is still very flawed, because simply firing the blaster using this one-handed grip eventually causes the booster to separate from the body. It only takes about 10 to 15 shots, after which performance is severely affected, and continuing to fire the blaster this way can easily cause it to break. On some copies of the figure, there's even a similar problem with the trigger pad as well. Often, there's a lack of friction, and basic usage causes the accessory to slide off during play. All of this together means that operating the B-Daman can be a chore when you have to constantly maintain the connection of these parts. Unless you want to risk things falling apart or breaking, sometimes you're forced to take a moment and make sure everything is attached properly, halting the action and putting you at a massive disadvantage. In the end, many of the one-handed booster's problems can be solved with a simple modification. Take one suggestion from the box, for example. Adding the magazine from Rakuso both makes the blaster much more convenient to reload, even with my long fingers getting in the way, and it completely secures the booster accessory in place, making the whole assembly way more solid. I still don't prefer this to just operating a B-Daman with 2 hands, but hey, I have to say, this example customization is a lot more helpful than these usually tend to be. On his own, though, I honestly can't find myself recommending Chrome Zephyr. If you're a fan of the show and the character Gray, you're probably going to want this anyway. That's more of a question of nostalgia value and personal preference. But strictly as far as performance and reliability goes, I think this one's an easy pass. You're much better off going with something like Night Cavalry if you want a similar one-handed grip from the same system. Anyway, that is about it, guys, and this has been Rollout, signing off.